Hello. In this video, let us look at uh, canonical ensemble in a broader sense, and we are going to calculate probability of a state of a system in a grand canonical ensemble. We already know microcanonical ensemble, uh, canonical ensemble, and grand canonical ensemble. In those, microcanonical ensemble appears to be very simple, but calculation of a terms or any equations for such a system is not so easy, because their microcanonical ensemble doesn't exchange any information with the surrounding or in between the system also. Therefore, it is not feasible to work with directly with the microcanonical ensemble. Canonical ensemble has some conceptual convenience which we can extract to deduce a sum of a expression. And another benefit is almost all the relations of a system can be calculated for a canonical ensemble. Therefore, we start with the canonical ensemble, and here we try to deduce the expression of most probable state of a ensemble. As the energy of systems of canonical ensemble, they are varying, because systems are internally exchanging energy. There are different energies associated with the different microsystems of a ensemble, and here we are going to determine the probability in terms of those energies. And that probability acts as a probability distribution function. Once we know a probability distribution function, we can calculate many expressions for a whole system, just like average energy, average volume, average pressure of the kind we can calculate. Later we are going to look at what are the steps involved in the calculation also. Let us consider isolated isothermal system, which is a canonical ensemble. This whole system maintained at a temperature capital T, associated with the volume V, capital V. Here I am indicating that V with some different notation, and total energy of a system is capital E. And there are many systems in this, like this. And since they are exchanging energy, because this is a canonical ensemble, hence microsystems can exchange energy internally. Therefore, the energy of a systems are varying with respect to time. At any instant of time, there will be a distribution of energies. Here I have shown first block. Here it is here in this first block is with the energy E1, this is with the E2, this is with the E3, then next E4, and here this is with the energy E2, this is with the energy E5. And if you see here, here I have shown two systems with the energy E1 and three systems with the energy E3, so on. Here the energies are distributed. Exactly we don't know what is the value of these energy, but there are many systems, and all these systems have got some energy, and energy is overall distributed, and it is changing continuously. Let this ensemble is a collection of total capital N number of identical systems. When we say identical, these are identical with respect to their temperature and volume, and number of particles associated with each smaller system. And as I told, the energies they can exchange internally. The energy is distributed over all the system. Small energy units are there. Multiple number of systems may be having a common energy. As here I have shown in this block, 3 microsystems are of energy E3, 2 are with the energy E1, so on. They are distributed overall. But total energy of a system, it is going to be capital E only. And now let us consider that n1 number of systems are of energy E1, n2 number of systems are of energy E2, n3 number of systems are of energy E3, and so on. The overall distribution of energies of a microsystems. And these all systems will make a total system, that is a ensemble. Therefore, this capital N is equal to n1 plus n2 plus n3, so on. I will indicate it as a summation of ni, and this forms the equation 1. And the total energy of a system, capital E, is also a constant, and this is given by summation of ni into ei. I runs from 1 to as many number of systems there are, means as many number of systems with the energy E1, E2, E3, so on, and this forms the equation 2. Now let us derive an expression of probability for a distribution of these energies E1, E2, E3 in the whole ensemble. For this, one has to look at how these systems are arranged in the whole ensemble. For that, I will take just one simple example. I will consider one cupboard consisting of 5 blocks, and I have 2 balls, and I have to arrange these 2 balls in this cupboard consisting of 5 sections. And I have to keep a 1 ball in a 1 section. There is only that much of area. And what are the possible ways for me to arrange these balls? Here I have shown how I can arrange. There are 10 possibilities. Okay, here I have only 10 possibilities. Means because I have only 5 blocks and 2 balls. Therefore, arrangement appears to be very simple. But if there are a large number of blocks and large number of balls I have, then what will be the possible, how many number of arrangements I can do? That is used using a combination relations. Here we can write a mathematical expression for these combinations, that is 5C2, because I have a totally 5 options and I have to choose 2. Therefore, this is 5C2. The same concept is used in calculating the distribution of these microsystems in an ensemble. And here, if we see, out of total n number of systems, n1 number of systems are of energy E1, and now they can be arranged in a factorial n, that is capital N factorial divided by n1 factorial into capital N minus n1 factorial, that is capital N C n1 in a combination relation. If I write this is these many number of ways one can arrange systems with energy E1 in the whole ensemble. And now arranging a n1 number of systems, we are left with the n minus n1 number of systems. In that there are n2 number of systems of energy E2. Now we have to arrange these, and how many number of possible ways we have? Here we have a capital N minus n1 C n2 number of ways. If I write it in a this combination relation, then I have this expression, means I have these many number of ways to arrange these n2 number of systems of energy E2. Those will be arranged. And after arranging systems of energy E1 and E2, left with the many systems of different energies. In that, if I have a n3 number of systems of energy E3, then we can arrange them in a these many number of ways. Here I have a, this is actually, this expression is equal to capital N minus a small n1 minus small n2, because these many number of spaces are left out, C n3, and capital N minus n1 minus n2 C n3 is equal to this expression. And in all these possible ways, one can arrange n3 number of systems with energy E3, and so on. We go on arranging the systems, and we are searching for how many number of possible ways we have. Therefore, a number of ways of arranging all these n1, n2, n3, so on number of systems with the energies E1, E2, E3 respectively to construct an ensemble of energy E is given by this equation 3. This equation 3. And then if there are total number of ways getting up, if C is a total number of ways of getting all the possible distributions of energies in an ensemble, then C is given by this expression, where we are summing all the possible ways. And now the probability W of getting the distribution is equation 3 minus equation 4. Since this equation 4, which is expression of C, involves a summation, I will write it only as a C. This W is equal to 1 upon C is into n factorial divided by n1 factorial into n2 factorial into n3 factorial and so on, and multiple factorials come in the denominator. And one has to find most probable distribution of energies among the various energies. That is, one has to find the maximum of this equation 5 with the conditions given in the equation 1 and 2. That is, the total number of systems in an ensemble is fixed, that is capital N, and total energy of a system is capital E. Even though the number of the energies of a systems are varying, and number of energies of a smaller systems are also varying. That is, we have a n1, n2, n3, so on, and E1, E2, E3 and so on. As n is very large, and here the denominator contains product of factorials. Here we use ln. We are extracting the benefit of ln. Here we apply a ln to this equation 5 first, and then we try to find out a maximum of 5 using a Lagrange's undetermined multiplier method, because there we have two conditions, and once we apply a ln, we can use a Stirling's theorem also. We are taking a benefit of ln and also Stirling's theorem. And in order to solve the above expression or above problem to find out maximum of this equation 5, which has got some condition given in equation 1 and 2, we have to use a Lagrange's undetermined multiplier method. So when I apply a ln W, I am going to get a as a expression 6. And then using a Stirling's approximation, which tells ln x factorial is equal to x into ln x minus x minus some factor of a order of 1 upon x. Since here we have a x is replaced by a n, and this n is a very large, even whether we consider n or a small n1 n2, they are very large. Therefore 1 upon that n or n1 n2 will become a very small terms. So those are very very small. Therefore we neglect that one, and here we are writing a Stirling's approximation for a factorial of Stirling's approximation for a ln n factorial, that is n into ln n minus n, as given in equation 7a, and we apply it for other terms of this expression also. Here we have a ln ni factorial and so on, and those are summed, resulting in equation 7c. And substituting equation 7 and 7 in a equation 6, we get ln w is equal to n into ln n minus summation of small ni into ln ni minus ln c, which forms the equation 8. Now we use a Lagrange's undetermined multiplier here method here, and let alpha and beta are Lagrange's undetermined multipliers, and there I have to look at I apply a Lagrange's undetermined multiplier method to equation 8, equation 8, along with the conditions 1 and 2. Here we have written d of ln w. If you go back and see your Lagrange's undetermined multiplier, there we wrote a df. F is nothing but a given function of multivariable. Here ln w we are going to write, that is a f only, and then minus alpha into d of condition phi in a previous video, and that phi is nothing but summation of ni is equal to capital N. This is what I have written. And now differentiate these equations partially with respect to n1, n2, n3. And had summed it with respect to ni. Actually I differentiated and then summed them, and this gives this expression. It is better to do a partial differentiation with the ni and take a summation outside, and this expression is equal to 0. And now when I simplify this equation, I am going to get ni is equal to capital N into exponential of minus alpha minus beta into ei, as given in this equation 9. And here we have a I is equal to 1, 2, 3, so on. Therefore I have written n1, n2, n3, so on, in terms of a capital N and Lagrange's undetermined multipliers, and also in terms of energies of systems. Actually these expressions give you these expressions. These give us how many number of systems of a canonical ensemble are of energy E1, energy E2, and how many number of systems are of energy E3, provided we know what are the alpha and beta. These are undetermined multipliers. Here these are arbitrary numbers. Let us see what will be those alpha and betas. Now I'll get rid of that alpha. I'll keep only one undetermined multiplier because this is an expression. I can remove that alpha. For that I sum up all these terms, n1, n2, n3. I'll sum all these, and when I sum, I am going to get this n, capital N is equal to n into e raised to minus alpha into summation of exponential of minus beta into ei. This is what I am going to get. And using this, definitely I can express for a e raised to alpha. And now here we have a expression. I'll invert this e raised to minus alpha, and here e raised to alpha is equal to, I'll denote it as a q because I am going to use it in an expression. If I write this summation, it will become a very big. Now e raised to alpha is equal to q is equal to summation of exponential of minus beta into ei, and this forms equation 10. Now substituting 10 in a 5. Put a 10 in 5. Sorry, 10 in 9. And now I am going to get this expression, Ni is equal to capital N divided by Q into e raised to minus beta into ei. This expression, and this expression I am going to get. I'll take this n on the left side. Therefore, I get a Ni divided by capital N is equal to e raised to minus beta into ei divided by q. And this is a expression for a maximum probability. That is, this is a expression for probability of system having a energy ei. If we substitute for a e, if we substitute, we can substitute for a e, and also we can put for a I. I is equal to 1, 2, 3, so on. And one can calculate what is the probability of finding a system of ensemble with any particular energy. In that, you can calculate for a EIth energy, and that is among various possible energies. And this equation 11 is known as a Maxwell-Boltzmann energy distribution law, or a Boltzmann canonical distribution law. But still, in this expression, we don't know what is beta, and there is no term of a expression also. And from a thermodynamic relations of an ensemble, we can determine that beta is equal to 1 upon k into T, where k is a Boltzmann constant, which is a universal constant, and this has got a value of 1.368 into 10 raised to minus 23 joules per Kelvin, and in terms of electron volts per Kelvin, it is 8.625 into 10 raised to minus 5. We are going to do thermodynamic relations in a next video. and now this q is equal to summation of exponential of minus ei by kt, and this q is known as a partition function of a canonical ensemble, and this is a very very important expression, and this partition function is used to calculate many thermodynamic relations. And now this wi, which tells about the probability of finding an ensemble with the energy ei, is given by this expression, this, and this partition function is very very important. And in future videos we are going to see how to use this partition function to calculate different thermodynamic relations and for a different systems. And that's it for a canonical ensemble, and let us continue in a next video.